and welcome back to HBO Girls Rewatch. I'm Amelia.
And I'm Evan.
And today we are covering Season 2, Episode 7, Video Games. This is the episode where Jessa goes and visits her father.
No, it's so fun. We just started introduction where I went first and I said, this is Evan, and then Amelia. And we instantly, our energy was so low. But now that we started off with Amelia and Evan, we're back in our tradition. We're back in habitat.
We're back where we're meant to be.
And you know what? It feels so much more natural.
And I just want to, if you're watching the video version, you can see our Redbubble girls themed mugs fully on display. I posted on our Instagram that like a thank you Redbubble for sending us these.
We have 3 cups today and one's for Elijah. Like, one for the guest. Elijah in Jewish tradition is like during Passover, you have an extra cup for this guy.
Okay, well, I'm Elijah because I have a coffee cup and a water cup.
Yeah, you're Elijah. I need 3 cups. I need like 3 drinks. How was your week, Emile?
We don't have to talk about that.
No, you're right. I just want to say one thing before we start the podcast because now I've been given a platform, so I have to talk about this. The Rush music video for Troye Sivan's new song is literally an AI creation to give me an eating disorder.
Oh, really?
Have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched. I just listened to the song and I was like, ooh, I like this.
No, the song's so fun, but then you actually zoom into the music video and it's like, okay, it's a really good music video if you want to stop eating.
Is it because Troye Sivan is really skinny?
Yeah, everyone in this music video is like literally the top shape of your life. And it's like, Troye Sivan's doing this really cool thing where he's one being like everyone's included except for different bodies.
I feel like
that's where we're moving.
I feel
we're
like
being body pause.
There was like the body positive movement and everybody was like, you know, the early 2000s skinny thing is over. We're moving away. We've progressed past it. And it's like, no, we're actually back. Like everyone I know is like being like, I'm going to get my eating disorder back.
No, Ozempic really honestly got rid of body positivity.
I was thinking about this today when I was making an egg. I've never made an egg since I was 10 years old and didn't think in my head, this is 70 calories. Because when you're on MyFitnessPal in 6th grade, you learn that and you can never forget it.
The thing about watching podcasts is they all slowly turn into eating disorder content.
Every single one of them. I know. It's so bad. We need to eat meals and nourish ourselves and stop freaking out by unbubble.
No, it's and I think the concept of this music video is like you're gay if you have a 6-pack. Like that, it's so interesting.
I mean, isn't there like a special pressure on gay men to be skinny?
Like in this most recent episode of Just Like That, that one gay guy is a gay sidekick to Charlotte. I can never remember his name. Stanley actually died IRL.
Oh my god.
His husband, I can never remember his name.
Oh my god.
They're at a Halloween party and goes up to a guy who's singing a Spartacus outfit and has a 6-pack and he's like, don't you remember my hand from the steam room? He's like, I have a wife. He's like, and the guy walks away and he's like, no straight guy has a 6-pack like that. And it's like 6-packs, I guess, in this day and age are only for gay.
Yeah,
I think
that is true. I'm not gonna lie, this episode made me really sad.
I'm like numb after watching
and thinking about my own life and my own relationship with my parents. And I can't believe we have to do like a lighthearted podcast about this episode.
No, literally. Is eating rabbit a metaphor for feeling bad?
I don't know.
Because we're eating rabbit
boots. If we cry live on the pod, is that okay?
We're eating rabbit boots.
I'm so excited for our guests. Before I even moved to New York, I knew of them because they go viral on Twitter all the time. And they also have a podcast of their own called Exploration Live, where they like dive in and dissect kind of everything in the world. And so they're going to be really good at like kind of the analytical stuff. I'm glad we got them
we've never done before.
I know.
No, we're gonna go for one really second. And we actually we did a Vice article, or we interviewed for a Vice article, and Amelia and I sound so smart in it.
It's actually crazy because when we were getting interviewed, we sounded like the dumbest girls in the world.
Girl, what stupid are you? No, that can't be right.
Cut that. Can you cut that, Evan?
Can I actually go into your bedroom and cut it for you?
I don't think you'd be able to.
My brain's literally on jet lag for some reason right now.
I'm the happiest I've ever been. Anyways, you can check out their podcast. They are about to knock on the door. So we'll see you back in the studio with them right now. Cross dissolve. Guys, put your hands together for Charlie Bardey.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much. And I want to make something clear, which is that I asked to be on this podcast. You guys did not ask me. I sent a DM and I said I would love to do it. And so I'm making direct eye contact for the camera
Please.
for the TikTok. No, I was
clip
asked.
that. We're gonna clip that. We're
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere.
It's gonna go viral. I bet everybody goes crazy for it.
People are gonna eat that up.
No, I like had started a few months ago, like a girls rewatch, kind of like with the wave.
Yeah.
And I've been loving it, and I'm really wanting to talk about it.
Well,
perfect.
we
Well,
were
this is a
so
perfect place to do
excited.
that.
Yeah.
We were like, thank God.
Well, we were in an article this week about girls, and then somehow this woman that wrote the article somehow got numbers about girls and viewership, which I thought was illegal.
Right. Yeah. The streaming services, they don't want you.
Yeah, but it's like Lena Dunham doesn't even know if people are watching.
Right. Exactly. But she has it.
But
woman
this
who wrote
Vice
this
girl?
article.
It doubled since January 2022 to January 2023. Viewership doubled.
Wow. Well, you know what? It's really good.
It's really
like
good.
It's a good show.
It's really good. So it's like people are watching it because they're like, this is good.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, haha, this is bad. That's funny. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Let me just get out ahead of it. And I've only seen through season 3. Definitely there is a little bit of like season 1, it's like guns blazing, it's so good. And then you do sense a little bit of like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, we watched an interview clip where Lena was like, well, now I wonder what it'll be about. Because
Right,
I kind of got all my ideas out there.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a classic like sophomore slump thing.
Yeah.
Of being like, I've actually been working on that one set of ideas for 1,000 years. And then it's like, okay, and you have 1 year to come up with like new stories.
She's like, I'm 24, not that much has actually happened to me yet.
Right, exactly. I mean, the fact that she's 24 is insane.
It's insane.
It's actually insane
It's
because
crazy.
like now when you meet even like a 23-year-old, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
hi.
yeah, exactly. You're like, cast me in your big project.
Yeah.
I know. How old are you guys? You must be.
I just turned 25.
We're both 25.
Okay,
But,
respect.
I mean, when you
And
first
I'm a lot like that too.
You're 25.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not gonna let anyone say anything
No,
else.
I'm 28, by the way, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
That's
no,
love
no,
being
no.
28.
I think that's a really perfect age.
And
Your
you
Saturn
guys-
returned recently?
Yeah.
Did
it
you notice it?
Yes. I've been going through like the most emotionally difficult period of my whole life.
No.
Yeah.
Good.
Do
I'm
you
glad
feel like
you brought
it's
that.
Do you feel like
I
it's
think we
gonna
can
get
use it.
better, or is it only going down so far?
I think it's gonna be bad for a while, and then I think my like kind of read on it is like this is just gonna be a bad year for me, and then 2024. But I actually knew that, like literally going into 2023, I was like, I think 2024 is my year. Like I think this one's kind of a wash.
Yeah.
And it was helpful to make peace with that.
I'm like that every year.
No, it's
though.
cool to like be like, well, I
Never
planned
works
ahead.
out.
You're like the next one though. I'm gonna get it.
Exactly.
No, I do think. You know what? So much suffering comes from being like, it shouldn't be like this.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, it is like this. No problem. Whatever.
Wait, you flipped Aristotle on its head.
Yeah, exactly. I really did.
That's so
Wow.
powerful.
No one's done it on this podcast yet. We have
Yep.
a bucket list for this podcast. Aristotle on his head. Check
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
off.
Someone needs to
please.
turn. Okay, we can cross that off the list.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Charlie also has a show coming up at Littlefield.
Oh, yeah,
true.
plug it right
I
now.
Why not?
should I plug it at the end?
No, plug it now
Plug it
while
now.
their ears are fresh.
Otherwise, sometimes I forget.
Right.
Littlefield Exploration Live, his amazing podcast where they like talk about really cool things.
Thank
and that's
you.
a really good way to describe anything.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Your friend Natalie Rotter-Lateman, yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like
She's brilliant.
me and
On
Evan,
Saturday.
but different.
Yeah, but a little older.
But a little older.
Yeah.
Her hair's curlier than mine.
Exactly.
But I'm working on it.
Right. Well, the hair is inverted between.
Right.
Our hair is a little more
Such
similar.
curly hair though.
I have curly hair. You know
Yeah.
what? You're right. I do have curly hair. I'm erasing myself. And I do have curly hair.
Is that new or is that something that you've
No, I've actually always
struggled
had
with?
like. I'm like trying to look. I don't know what I look like. I can't remember.
It's-
Can't really picture it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Well, I think the thing about curly hair is sometimes it can be the worst thing ever. It's
Yeah.
almost a disability.
It can get a little frizzy.
Yeah.
It can get a little crazy for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
For so long I didn't have anything in my repertoire, and now it's something I finally got mop top, and it's
Mm.
really been a game changer for me.
Mop top as
Mop
like
top.
kind of like a way of describing or understanding yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And the
totally.
products I use.
Right.
Because then some
Oh,
Japanese
sure.
hairdresser told me to use a curl mousse, and I did that to my hair, and one of the scariest things it ever did. And for 6 months of my life, I was Cynthia from whatever, that Rugrats.
Right. With the hair like
And
straight
people
to
would
the
tell
side.
me that, of course.
People are like, it's not working. You're like, let me just feel it out, and then I'll kind of figure it out from
Evan's
there.
hair when I first met them was
Mhm.
really special.
Really? Really?
It was having a moment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It all has a journey.
Yeah.
We all do have a
Thank
journey. I
God.
don't feel like I've quite figured
With
out
the
what I'm
show.
wanting to do with my hair.
I tried to get bangs and the woman was like, no.
She was like, don't.
And
do
she
that.
gave me half bangs.
That's because you got a Groupon haircut.
Yeah, and I always will.
Yeah.
But
I know.
now I'm like doing the thing in middle school where you like straighten the bangs
Mhm.
and then the rest is curly.
Okay.
And you're just like, hey.
You guys both have such cute hair. And we all
Oh.
have brown hair.
We all have
That's
brown
really
hair.
important.
Which
That is important.
really important.
You
And
couldn't
that's-
cast all three of us.
that's what was in my
the same
DM.
project.
I
Yeah.
said, I'd love to do the podcast. I would think I'd fit right in. I have brown hair, so
I've never met someone with brown hair that I'm not like, we're hitting it off.
yeah, exactly. It's like, why is this randomly working?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to talk about the episode.
Yeah.
I
let's
like
jump in.
watched
So,
it 30 minutes
You kind
ago.
of already explained, but
Mhm.
how did you get into girls?
I think I watched it when it came out, the first season and the second season, and I remember I stopped watching it when when Hannah punctures her eardrum.
Really?
Right,
Did it
right.
piss you off too much?
It just scared me, and I was like, this is too intense.
Oh my
And it was like
God.
too much, and I
It
couldn't
is
handle
so
it.
intense, though.
And I think I wasn't like I can't watch this, but it's just like, you know how naturally you're just like, I guess I'm drifting away from this.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching it there.
It got too real.
It got too real, and then like I later at some point randomly picked it back up, like, and watched like season 4 or something. I have no idea. I don't remember what was happening in it. I remember watching the Kitty Genovese episodes. I don't know where that is in
Yeah.
it. But then recently, a few months ago, I was like, you know what? It was winter. I think I was really sick this past December. I just gone through a breakup, and was like, let me do it. And so I've been watching it since then. Kind of stopped at the end of season 3. Needed a break. The Gabby Hoffman plotline kind of drained me a little bit, to be honest.
Right,
But you
you're
guys will
really
get to that.
emotionally in the show.
I was pretty
It
emotionally.
seems like you're
Really
deeply
emotionally in it.
affected. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Yeah,
You're not
totally.
casually watching
Yeah,
it. Like
exactly.
it's
I
really
know.
sitting with you.
No, it really was. I mean, I'm just in an emotional place right now, so everything, like, I absolutely at the end of this episode was absolutely cried.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally.
This episode was actually so devastating to watch.
It's so devastating.
Can we get you to cry today?
Yeah, totally. If you
Okay,
want.
perfect. Yeah, we actually
we'll
do need
cry
that.
live on the air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I literally
thumbnail.
probably can. Oh my god, when I mean, I don't know.
When they're on the swing
when they're on the
set.
swing set I mean, that's so like her dad, her being like,
I'm the child.
she's like, I'm the child, and she's like whimpering,
She's literally
and she's really whining, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the child. It's like, feels so real and desperate,
Yeah.
and like, you know, Jessa's kind of like feels a little bit the weakest link of the four of them. Can I say that? Is she like
Yeah.
a watcher? Like,
She is the only one that follows us.
really?
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, go
Let me
for
go
it.
ahead and take. Well, let
But
me say.
you
wants
know what?
us-
I think
she
she'd
asked
be
us
open to
to.
this.
She wanted us
It feels like
to.
she's a little like underwritten sometimes.
She's not Jessa.
Right. She's
You
not
have to know that Jemima Curry is not Jessa.
Right. Exactly.
No,
But
yeah, she's the one that kind of like they like make it seem like underwriting her is because she's just so free.
And I'm like, but what the fuck is going on here a little bit?
Yeah, it's like, what is she doing all the time?
What is she doing all the time? Like, I mean, I'm sure you learn more because I haven't seen the second half of the Cheers.
Sorry, I keep cheersing myself.
I haven't seen the second
Doesn't
half of the
sound
series,
correct.
but like, do you kind of find out more? Like, I guess you kind of are supposed to assume that it's like she comes from a wealthy but broken family.
Mm.
Right. I mean,
And
we're
then-
all
The dad's
predicting.
in and out of rehab.
Right.
We're like,
which is
why is this
wealthy.
dad like this? We thought she was like, went to private school in
Right,
England.
right.
Is
She
like,
clearly has that energy, but you never really get a full sense of like what is up with it. Actually,
no, it
like,
makes no sense.
She reminds me of every rich girl that went to rehab.
right,
Who's like also has weird parents.
right, exactly.
Yeah, but
the
British.
dad was so much weirder than I remember.
Uh-huh.
But okay, wait, let's jump into our first segment,
Okay.
Minute to Win It.
Okay.
This is where
Oh
we
my.
try and give a synopsis of the entire episode.
It's scary
in
for
1
us
minute.
too. It is
Okay.
scary for us too.
And
And
we
we all
each get 20
collaborate.
seconds.
Okay.
You finish it off, so whatever we don't get to, you really got to bring us home.
Okay.
Are you ready, Evan?
Let me get there.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa.
Whoa.
It's actually a big. Yeah. Okay.
And here we go. Okay, so we're kind of by Poughkeepsie, but not. We just took the train. Hannah's gonna cross the third rail to go pee while Jessa's laughing her little head off. And they're waiting for Jessa's dad as he doesn't come. And then he finally picks him up and has 8,000 computers in the back because he doesn't want his secrets out to the world. And Hannah thinks those little computers look like dog homes. They get to Jessa's house, or Jessa's dad's house,
And we meet Patricia, and she has a son named Frank, and Jessa and all of them are eating dinner, and it's a dead rabbit. And then Jessa's really wanting to hang out with her dad, and her dad's like, we actually have plans, and Jessa's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go hang out with Frank and his friend. And then they're in a car, and Hannah
kind of freaks out. She's in a car with these guys. Like, she wants to get out because they're doing whippets and like covering each other's eyes and being kind of reckless. Hannah leaves the car, goes to the cemetery. This guy, Frank, who's like this 19-year-old, like a little bit like on the spectrum-y neighbor. Oh my God. They hook up, and then Jessa ends up like, Jessa's dad kind of bails on them, and Jessa ends up leaving this kind of dramatic note. And Hannah goes to the train station alone and calls her parents and thanks them for being like a safety net for her.
Oh my God.
And that's 1 minute.
And I have to
Okay,
say,
whoa.
Charlie gets double time because his heart hurts.
Thank
And
you.
I think you have to remember that.
Thank you.
No, that was actually, I think, really good. Most of the time we
Time
miss
and a
most
half.
plots.
Totally. You guys left me with a hard.
We left
you
you-
left me with a good half of the episode.
Yeah,
at least.
we love to kind of just say that every detail that happened in the 1st
You're like, there's a
scene.
lot of computers in the car. I was like, for efficiency, I would have left that out personally.
I liked it.
Yeah. No, it's important. It's an important thing to
For
bring
me,
up.
it
The
is.
listeners who didn't watch the episode before listening need to know that part.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right,
Yeah. Are
right,
people
right.
watching along with you guys?
I
Oh, we
think
have no
they
idea.
were, but
Uh-huh.
what happened was like we got people to start rewatching, and then they
And
were
they're
way
like,
ahead.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. Totally.
And I'm like, that's no problem. We'll get to season 6 soon enough.
right. Exactly.
But
just you wait.
People
We'll
are
get
like,
there.
can you release more than once a week?
And
I'm
you're
like, 3 episodes a week. Yeah,
Right.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. No problem.
I can't emotionally.
Wait, okay, you know what's another thing in this episode that I really love? And actually something about the show that I like as well.
Tell us.
Okay. I think it'd be a really easy choice for Hannah's parents to be like totally sweet Midwestern people and for her to be this kind of nightmare child. And actually her mom is like kind of a bitch. And like her mom is like well-meaning but like really quick to anger, like a little erratic. And I think it's a really smart choice because I think the easy thing would just be have her mom be like, oh, sweetie. And like Hannah's just like, shut up. But instead
Yeah.
it's like, she makes this really, at the end of this episode, she actually makes this very sweet phone call to her parents, like having seen the way that Jessa's erratic upbringing like has really traumatized her. She calls her parents being like, you know, it's so well written too. She's like, I often feel like we're not even from the same planet or put here by the same God. But like at the same time, I go through the world feeling like there's a hammock underneath me. And like, I want to thank you for that. And her mom is like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck? Okay, you're calling me, you're asking me for money. Fuck you. And just like hangs up on Hannah.
It's so powerful because it shows like how her mom is kind of also like why Hannah is so...
Totally. Right. You're like actually like kind of just, I don't want to say crazy or disturbed, but like, you know.
It would be so
people
annoying.
beget people.
Yeah, it would be so annoying if her parents were so sweet and she was just like a
right.
crazy.
I just think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
yeah.
be like, that's kind of the obvious and easy choice they could
Yeah.
have made with Hannah. Like that as the type where it's like, she's just a crazy. And again, like, you know, that she is at times like this total kind of like narcissist monster. But then this phone call is genuinely very sweet, actually. And it's genuinely
She's so sweet.
yeah, she's genuinely coming from a real place of gratitude. And the show is kind of amazing because you're like, yeah, you know what? Like, that is how people are. Like, people actually really do surprise you and are full of like contrasting and, you know, contradicting impulses.
Wait, so
yeah.
true.
I think they wrote her
Thank you.
Jewish.
They did write her Jewish.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
she not Jewish in real life?
She is Jewish.
Lena
So
Dunham,
Lena
yes.
Dunham is half Wasp,
Okay.
half Jewish.
Okay.
So half the character are Wasp and half of them are Japs.
Right.
Or I guess she's Jewish, not Jap.
Is
So Shauna's
Hannah
Jap.
Horvath supposed to be Jewish?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
Hannah Jewish?
They kind of don't necessarily ever say it, but
They don't actually
Lena
say it.
says that
Shosh is
her
She's Jewish.
Shosh is
She's
Jewish,
Scottish.
and then
Jemima or Jessa
Jessa?
and Allison.
No way.
are Wasp.
They're
'cause
totally Wasp.
Lena Dunham is half Wasp, half Jewish.
But
she
her
divided
parents
her-
don't seem Jewish.
No, her parents don't seem so Jewish. Her
Oh, wait.
mom maybe does,
Her
but
mom seems Jewish to me.
Oh, really?
actually no. But doesn't she go back home for Christmas or something?
She goes back.
No, for her grandmother's.
Well,
Death.
not. That's not even home. That's Ohio.
Right.
Are there
mother
Jewish
lives in
people in
Ohio.
Ohio?
Yeah, of course, in Shaker Heights.
Right.
Of
There are
course.
Jewish people. It is funny that actually it's not
Columbus.
explicit. Like with Shoshana, it's explicit, and with Hannah, who like really does come off kind of Jewish, she's not.
Yeah.
So it's not so explicit actually.
I wonder if HBO was like,
Don't do that.
lay off the religion stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
I'm
my
sure for
point.
her, she was just like, she doesn't want, like, also she grew up like secular in New York. And so
Yeah.
she's like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
She's like, I don't need to be ship a baby.
Right. She doesn't need to be ship a baby.
Yeah.
Famously not too
Before we
much.
jump into the episode, we
Mhm.
have to ask our guests the
Mhm.
question we ask all our guests.
Mhm.
Girl,
Girl,
what girl are you?
Look, for better or worse, like I'm Marnie for sure.
You're Marnie?
Yeah.
I think you're our first guest who's been a Marnie.
And honest about it.
I mean,
even.
look, like I just have to be kind of real with myself. Like I'm uptight, like I'm type A, I have a lot of like wants and have ideas about how things should be, and I'm really attached to those ideas about how things should be. I think I definitely have there's a little bit of Hannah in me, but not really that much. There's a little bit of Shoshana in me, but not that much. I don't have much Jessa going on for me at all, but I really do think I'm just Marnie. I just gotta be real.
Wow.
Yeah, I just gotta
I
be
think
honest.
you found
Thank God I
community.
found community.
You're also Marnie.
I'm always Marnie
Right.
every damn week,
Right.
and it's hell. I
Right.
don't want to be this way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
No, me neither. It's like, I mean, I see Marnie and I'm like, oh, this is like all the stuff that like
I'm just
is
like,
tough.
she needs to relax and stop trying to control every
God.
situation. And it's
Right.
like, okay, well,
right, exactly. It's like, huh?
call coming from inside
Wait,
my mind.
that sounds kind of familiar.
My phone just voice to text everything you guys just said.
Oh,
Wow,
okay,
good.
I
yeah.
got that.
Send
it
that to
out.
people. Yeah.
Well, I think
Thread
you're
it.
Marnie kind of season 1, 2, and you're kind of more Marnie season 3, 4.
Wow.
5.
What happens to her then?
'Cause I'm
Like
trying
when
to
she becomes
sing?
singer more.
Yeah, I'm a singer.
Wow.
You're a singer. Okay, never mind. And actually, you're season 3 and 4.
That actually, when I also remember seeing that and being like, when Marnie like reveals that she can like kind of sing, I was like, "Ugh, crap.
Were you like,
Because that's like the way that I'm like, I
were
can
you
also
low
kind of
key
sing.
in like an acapella group at one point?
Yeah, and to be honest,
Wait, really?
Yeah, I was. Which I famously didn't really like, but I love singing. And well, Alice, I don't mean to out myself like this, but Allison Williams and I both went to Yale. And
Right.
Oh, you did acapella at Yale?
Yeah, I did.
Were you in a baker's dozen?
No, I was in mixed
Was
company.
Allison Williams there at any point that you were?
No, I think she was too much older than me.
Why?
Yeah.
That school really likes male acapella.
They love male acapella. I
It's-
mean, it's
everyone's
wrong.
in it.
It's sick.
You're gay and you go to Yale. It's like
You
you're
gotta
doing
do it.
acapella.
I know. I
Those
just
are
got swept up in
frats.
it. I was like, yeah, I guess I can. Okay, like
I
can
love
kind of
my
sing.
friend. I have another friend, Charlie, who went to Yale and did acapella.
Really?
And
Who is he?
Charlie Moosoff. He's
Alright.
he's a bit younger.
No problem.
But like that's really that's your like fraternity life.
It is like fraternity life. It really is.
He opened for the Phoenix Suns. Like you could, it was
Oh
so
my God.
intense.
I know
for you
it can be
guys.
kind of crazy like that, where you're like, why is this like randomly so intense? And I mean, the cool thing was we traveled. Like we actually got to
You
do.
traveled.
It's kind of sports for singers.
Yeah, literally. Like, cause you can just go and like people pay you to book gigs, and if the thing is you travel and you have to like work really intense, you do like 2 shows a day at
Right.
like
God.
restaurants and whatever. But it was kind of cool. I went to like, we went to Columbia. That was the coolest place we went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you went to
Me-
university
No,
for a second.
I'm like, whoa, we went to Columbia.
All the way
No,
to Upper
but anyway, I
Manhattan.
do really feel like that kind of sincerity. I don't know. I'm like feel really clocked by Marnie,
Wow.
and like wanting to be like this like creative type,
Yeah.
but also fundamentally being like
That everybody's like, she's kind of cool in a
Right.
different new way.
exactly, but ultimately being like, I don't understand why things aren't working the way I wanted them to, and like not being able to get over that. Like,
Yeah.
too bad.
Is your mom like her mom,
No,
Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson?
Rita Wilson. Oh my God, that's her mom.
Yeah.
Whoa. Actually, you know what? A little bit. My mom can be a little bit like her, where my mom is a little bit like, just deal with it. Like, not really. I think my mom is more affectionate than Rita Wilson is to Marnie.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good, because that's a really low bar.
I mean, Rita Wilson, Marnie really went through like with the Charlie stuff. Like, that's tough.
That's tough. And
Yeah.
everybody was like, shut the fuck up,
Right,
bitch.
Exactly.
No one gave her sympathy at all.
No.
Well, except for Jessa, who was like, you're so pretty without mascara.
Yeah. I know, randomly Jessa being like, I actually will be friends. It's funny, like,
Rewatching this is
Mm.
just about being like, I was wrong about Jessa. She's really sweet.
yeah, there's a sweetness to her. I mean, Jessa is annoying to watch because she is so immature and really does not act like it, or like acts like she's way more mature
Yeah.
than she is. And I'm always like, shut the fuck up.
Well, we were
girl.
saying that when she
Yeah.
got married, it's like she got married so she could be like, I'm so adult and have
Yeah,
it all
yeah,
figured
yeah.
out. But it was like a way for her to be like, I don't know anything about
I
myself.
think you'd be
Right.
worldly without being mature.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, what girl were you this week?
I feel like I'm the stepmom, Petula. I feel like it's because everything she's saying resonates with me.
Mhm.
And I think she's so of the
It's
now.
like life is a video game.
No, literally, life
Like,
is a video game.
totally.
Elon Musk said that too. So it's
Yeah.
like, it has to be
You
true.
totally would go to a lecture about
Japanese nuclear.
nuclear.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that kind of stupid stuff. I'm wearing a vest just like her on
Mhm.
purpose.
Right.
You did it.
I did it.
What's the question for you?
Girl, what girl are you?
Oh. I'm Jessa in this episode. I'm so like always trying to get my dad to like care about me more.
Mhm.
And I'm always being like, oh, like he's coming, this is gonna be great. Or like also playing it so cool, like when things don't go, like when like somebody doesn't show up for you and just being like, I'm actually really chilling, it's no problem.
Mhm, mhm.
Like her whole thing of being like, yeah, let's go hang out, Frank, is so me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going out tonight.
I'm gonna act like this doesn't bother me as
Yeah.
much. Well, right, like the beginning of the episode where Jessa is like Hannah's like, where is he? And Jessa's like, it's really uncool that this bothers you.
I love that
And it's
line.
like,
Yeah.
oh my God, girl, like, come on. Like, it's just so,
Like
it's so like, you don't know yourself at all.
you're
Like,
allowed to be sad, girl.
Right.
And she's like, Hannah, you're so immature.
Right,
Of course,
exactly.
my dad sucks.
Right, exactly.
Grow
Like, this is
up.
what he does. Like, it just is tragic. Like, you really just see the ways that
Yeah.
she's like had to protect herself. And
It's devastating.
This
I'm
is
the
gonna be our
child.
darkest episode.
I know.
This is
Sorry,
gonna-
I'm
no,
bringing
no,
that
no.
energy.
We need
You actually
that.
also gave it to me. I also
No, we
was.
asked you to do that.
I know. This isn't. I think it's a really good episode of the show. I was sad because my favorite character of the show by far is Shoshana. I think Shoshana
And
is
there's
like
not. Well, we'll make a section today where you can just say your
Yeah,
piece
Yeah, we'll
on
give you
her.
we'll give you
thank
5
a
minutes.
Shoshana minute.
Yeah.
1 minute on Shosh.
That's
But
so
let's
funny.
lean into Lena.
Mhm.
This is the meat of the episode. We're breaking it down. Why was Lena writing this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Why
What
did
was she trying to
everything
get at?
that happened
Yeah.
in it happen?
Hmm.
Let's unpack her brain a little here.
I think maybe there's something. I mean, it's that last phone call, right? That's so like key here. That like so much of the show is her reckoning with like her relationship with her parents and like being kind of difficult and being troubled and having like parents who are a little difficult and don't totally understand her but are there, and then like putting that in relief against like someone who's, I mean, her world, like Lena's world is limited. Like everybody's rich, right?
Mhm.
Like nobody is actually like really in dire financial straits, but the relief of someone whose like parents really just aren't there for them
Mhm.
and really are kind of like have a really like strained relationship. Like to me, the whole episode is getting Hannah to have that phone call with her parents.
Definitely.
And then the thing too, where her parents are like, shut the fuck up. You know, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, so it's not like this nice, sweet moment. But to me, I think that's what it's wanting. And it obviously like really gives us a lot about Jessa and like,
I think it definitely adds a second layer to Jessa
mhm,
and then expands. Like in season 1, we see Hannah's when she goes home to visit her parents.
mhm.
It's like the first time that she's like kind of made a life for herself a little
Mhm.
bit, like now
Right.
that she's been cut off.
right.
And now we see how like she's starting to like realize like, oh, my parents actually are rooting for me and want the best
Right.
for me. So I think
Right.
it's like highlighting that more.
I agree.
Being genuine at 24 is one of the hardest things you can do.
I
Totally.
know.
And no one wants it from
It's
you.
on
our
Or
bucket
respects
list.
it.
yeah, you guys will get there. It's
Be genuine.
comes so easy to me, no offense. I love also that phone call Hannah does with her parents is while she's trying to pee with a UTI
I
in
know.
the train
Same spot
tracks
as
in the same
before,
spot.
yeah.
And also the reason her mom is like, what the, like her mom at first is like, oh, that's really sweet. And then Hannah like kind of grunts because she's in pain from the UTI. And her mom's like, what the fuck is going on? And then like hangs up
Yeah.
so angrily. And it's,
She's
and then-
like, my girl's on opium again, probably.
Well,
Right.
This whole episode is like someone looking for a sign. Like Jessa's looking for a sign because she gets this text from her dad. It's like all these jumbled up letters, and she just like wanted to see her dad, and this was a sign.
oh
that
my
he
God,
reached
right.
out
I forgot
to.
Hannah being like, I think it's just a butt text.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is so devastating
Yeah.
for Jessa to have to be like the cool her that's
Mhm.
like so unaffected.
I know.
To be like, oh, I mean, maybe it was a coat.
Right, exactly. And Hannah's
It's
like, no. I do think like that's the kind of thing that is really true to Hannah's character, and not like to be like to tell you like I think that's just a butt text. Because if someone maybe in that position said that to me, I'd be like, totally.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, yeah, that's so weird that he said that. Like, I wonder what that meant.
It's also so funny to see Hannah as like the buffer, because it's like Hannah is not the type of person that would do well at that role.
Right.
So
right.
like her whole time, like Jess is going through something and Hannah cannot be there for
No,
her.
Hannah needs her own buffer.
Right, exactly. Like Hannah is like constantly. I mean,
She's like, oh my God, not a whippet, not rabbits. It's
wait,
like,
what
girl.
does she say in the car? She has this line that's like, it's
I
don't
only like
yeah.
to use
products for their
what-
intended use. It's like it's a weak spot for me.
She's so unserious.
It's so funny. I mean, look, the show's really funny too. Like
I know
it
the way
works.
they used comedy was,
Mhm.
I have to say, comedic.
I mean, but watching someone
right.
drive on whippets is just so trauma.
I know, that is trauma.
In college, I had so many friends who would drive on whippets, and it's just like to be back there. It was hard
Mhm.
for me to watch.
Whippets
personally.
was so like when I worked at a startup in LA, and I was like with the techie bros,
Mhm.
like camera ops, being
Mhm.
like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, oh Jesus Christ! I know whippets. It's also this like, there's something happening in this episode with like youth, like they're hanging out with these 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
Hannah hooks up with this 19-year-old. Then there's also this thing with like the youth where it's like she's like, I'm the child. Like, you know, Jessa's going through this whole thing where
Yeah.
she's like is being like reckless in like a teen way,
Yeah.
and she's wanting to be like a child. With,
She's like, I came here so I could be a kid because I just got
Right.
out of my marriage and I'm feeling down.
right. Whereas Hannah actually is like in this kind of adult position.
Yeah.
Of like taking care of her friend a little bit, like being like the adults, you know, in this really complicated scene,
yeah.
and then like having sex with this 19-year-old, and it's like, I thought that's what we were supposed to do. She's like, what is it? I wanted like continuity with you.
Yeah. When she said continuity,
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
so funny.
But she talks about heaven right before. While they're fucking, she talks about what she thought heaven was going to be like in her existential like body crisis of
Yeah.
her floating into the sky.
The
that's
Hannah,
at the end, I
the
think.
Hannah and
Oh, maybe
Frank
it's not.
scenes are so funny because it's like Hannah's usually like the erratic, childish
Yeah.
character in a scene between two people,
Yeah.
but now she's like the wise
Yeah.
one that's like nodding, like yeah, Rihanna.
Wait, can I say something? I don't buy Frank. Like, I think he's not actually well cast because I think he's a little too hot. And I'm like, this character doesn't, I don't think he's costumed right. I don't think he's cast right.
The way his hair is brushed out seems contrived.
It's just a little contrived.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
I'm like, I do think this person is real,
yeah.
but I don't think, it's like, I think the actor looks a little too old, actually, to
The
be
cassette
like,
player.
right. It's just a little bit too Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh,
In a
that's good
way
point.
that like I didn't buy. I mean, I remember feeling that when I
I'm
watched
actually
it.
so glad they
We're
didn't
calling
actually
out
cast a
Judd
19-year-old
Apatow.
for this role, though.
Yeah, it's true. An actual
Why?
19-year-old.
An actual 19-year-old would never work.
Maybe that guy
Yeah.
is 19. No, I don't know. I don't think so though.
I don't know.
think-
The blonde one's definitely not.
No, for sure. Yeah, that's the one thing where I was like, it's just a little like,
That's fun that you noticed it in real time and we're like, this doesn't sit right with me.
yeah. I was like, I have to speak on this.
And they use
Let
autism.
me use my voice. Yeah.
No, exactly. They use autism like we do, though.
What do you mean?
Like calling him autistic.
Do they actually in the
They're like,
episode?
he's a little autistic.
Right,
Oh, that is very 2023.
That's so
Right.
2023.
right. They had that kind of lexicon.
Yeah. They're ahead of the times.
Right. And it's funny because actually in that scene, Hannah also ends up seeming so adult. Like when she's talking to him and she's like talking about Rihanna and she's like, was that your first time? You know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah.
so like, it's like we spend so much time with her like not knowing what the fuck is going on. Like she's like totally clueless. She's floundering. And in that scene, she's not like freaking out that like, she's just like, ugh, fuck. Like,
Our
She's
9-year-old's
so
even
adult.
like
She's
that.
so
in
grown
this,
up.
she really
I'm
is
like,
kind of grown
you're
up.
really a grown up girl, Hannah.
I know. And this one, she really is.
It's like 16, though. It doesn't feel 19 to me. I don't know if I
Sure.
necessarily remember what 19 looks like, but that's not a 19-year-old.
The guy,
Yeah.
Frank. I can't
It
tell.
sounds like a freshman in like a
I don't
tuba.
know.
Right.
I like to Stranger Things vibe.
Yeah.
So 70s.
Yeah.
Did feel a little. I would recostume him. Not. I don't know how, but actually, something else about this episode that's funny, kind of along those lines, is I'm like, how long is Jessa out of the show for now? Like, just like 2 more episodes, right? I'm almost like, is this a scheduling thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Was Jemima Kirk like, I actually can't be in the next 2? Or
Right.
No, probably not.
Well, they always put Shoshana in the show either, though. They're so casual
Well,
putting a girl in the
wasn't
girls.
Jemima Kirk having her second child?
During this? Something I actually wish I knew.
Right.
We'll
Like,
look
I'm
it
wondering
up.
if that's, it almost feels it's like, because it's random that she leaves the show for a little bit, right?
I think she might have been on maternity leave.
Right. And so I'm
Do they
wondering
have that?
when this was like the 7th episode of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's not in the next 3 until they go pick her up from rehab. And is that in season 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a preview. But oh my God, you know what I love in that episode where they pick her up from rehab? Shoshana, this is going to be my Shoshana moment.
Yeah. have
Shoshana in
it.
the back of the car, like Hannah yelling at Adam, being like, you sound like one of those guys who thinks that women can't be president because they would get their periods and like launch the nuclear weapons, and or they get their periods and get too emotional. And Shoshana in the back is like, wait, but women shouldn't be president because they would get their periods and get too emotional. She's good.
Zosha.
That's so well casted.
Yeah.
She nailed it.
No, how do we feel about Jessa and her dad's relationship?
Whoa. You stated it like that.
Sorry, I actually don't want to talk about it. It made me really sad. But it is so true. Like, you see why Jessa, up till now, is always trying to, like, force these things to work with unavailable men. It's because her dad's unavailable.
And you know what? Like, that feels also, you know, everybody in my life I know who has, like, a shitty dad, it's literally always the thing of, like, whenever they're like, you weren't there for me. And the dad is like, you weren't there for me. And it's like, you moron, like I'm the child, like that's literally not my responsibility, you know. Like, I've seen it happen with so many friends, like so many people being like, you were like, you chose your mom over me, you didn't want, and it's like it's like I was 7, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just the truest. And he's not even so like, he's not like angry like that, he's just like kind of
he's kind of duddy.
He's just kind of a dud. You know what I mean? Like, just can't commit. It's so
so
can't
sad.
Commit to anything.
It's so common, though, for dads to be like, my daughter is supposed to emotionally take care of me.
Ugh, it is so common.
Like, I don't know. Whenever my dad comes to town, we go to dinner, and it's just him talking at me and me, like, being like, your feelings are awesome.
Really?
And I'm like, ask me one question about myself.
You're like, why don't you be... Can I say something?
Yeah.
You know how I've been going through a hard time? My dad has been so present and so like,
oh my God,
like he's just been so amazing, and
has
he's so emotionally. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, but he's so like emotionally present with me, and so like I've cried like with him at dinner so many times, and like,
stop.
I know it's really sweet.
That's so powerful.
I legit feel so lucky for it, because it's like all my friends growing up in high school, like, all had dads like this, where they were either like around and like angry, bitter, you know, or just like dads who left and would come back like once a year and would be like, well, because it's your mom's fault and your fault, and you should have da-da-da-da-da. It's like so lame, you know what I mean? Like, so many men just really like are terrible fathers.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Well, it's that whole statistic of like when men have like critical diseases, fatal diseases, women stick around so much more
than like
when men, vice versa.
It's so sad.
It always brings us back to our thesis.
And we actually do we meet Jess's mom ever in the show?
No,
that's interesting, because she also
do we even hear about her
in this episode? She says when things. She was like, why? Her big thing with him is she's like, you left me with mom. And she was like, when things were so bad with mom, like, you weren't there. That's what she says in this episode. I know. Crap.
This girl has been through so much.
She has been through so much.
No wonder she wears that many kimonos. You have
to. She's like flowing the fuck out. She like...
Yeah.
Justice Dad's never emotionally available. I think that really has to just be so... Like, he's always in and out of rehab. He keeps leaving women. There's that poor girl named Lemon. His daughter named Lemon. Stopped talking to. And
my God. It's like, and nobody
talked to her.
Right. That's a crazy thing to drop, because you're like, what? Like, Jessa has this little sister that.
No, never met.
Right.
Never mentioned. And also, that's almost a little bit like, whoa, like, that's a crazy plot point to include.
It is
but
crazy.
I guess it happens.
But
like, people do just leave their kids.
The best line ever.
And that is a thing, because when the dad gets back, or the day after they like go out or whatever, he's like, I need to leave this family in this house. Well, and Jess is like, can you stop leaving women and children like this? And he's like, no, I'm stressed.
He does try. Like, I think that it's definitely like, he doesn't necessarily have so much resent in his heart. Like, they have those inside jokes, like you see in the beginning of the episode.
Oh, right, when they're talking like British or something.
Exactly, like this very specific like Cockney accent. That, like,
and Hannah trying to play along.
Hannah being like, I hate actually not being included in things. So if we could just fill me in.
It's so stupid.
They have very specific vernacular with one another that they don't share with anyone else. Right. Like, even on that swing set scene, like we're not, or like in the beginning, it's like we're not built like the same. Like, they know they have that so much commonality together.
Yeah.
Right. They aren't like, they are two
and then
the
obviously
same breed.
Jessa leaves too, right? Like, she kind of runs.
Yeah. And
she is her dad.
When her dad calls her out, you always leave, you're unreliable. I'm like, okay, whose fault is that, babe?
Ugh, I'm the child. It's so sad.
It's one of the saddest episodes.
Because she really is, she's like acting in that. Like, it is like, she's like whining.
She really
You know what
is.
I mean? It's like I think like one
It's like
instinct
up here. Like
she's like, I'm the child. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you would my instinct as an actor I think would be like I'm the child. But it's like it's not like she's like whimpering.
yeah.
It's like Troye Sivan in Idol when he's like getting like tied up
Mm-hmm.
and whipped and shocked and he's like
What?
screaming.
Is he
And it's
supposed
like,
to be straight in the Idol, by the way?
no, he's gay.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
Maybe.
I didn't know he was.
Oh, so yeah. Oh, he gets like tortured in this one scene, and everyone's so shocked that he can actually be a good actor. And I think we're kind of seeing that from Jessa too, Jemima
Right.
here,
Yeah, Jemima. Shout out to Jemima.
Shout
because she
out.
plays herself for most of it, and then she kind of like goes into this real actor mode here.
It's true. That's what I
Yeah.
think with her, where it's like they don't. I from what I've seen the first 3, it's like This is a nice episode because it's nice that she's a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
And has a little bit more like, and when they give it to her, it's like she really does it.
She really does. She's
Yeah.
ready to do it.
Yeah.
Just ready to.
I
babe.
think it's also a really interesting point because Hannah, I mean, it is specified when you bring up the rehab. It's such a good point where
Mm-hmm.
Hannah really puts herself out on a leg for Jessa that she doesn't do for Marnie. Obviously not Shoshana. Like, this is the person that she's chosen to, like, take, like, cover, like, help her. Like,
Yeah.
usually Hannah's in this position of, like, needing help. And this is the one spot where she's really, like, putting outreach, really helping Jessa, really, like, being almost like a parental figure. And I think in all of us, we kind of have relationships where, like, people are more being a parent towards us,
Yeah.
and we're more being a parent towards them.
Yeah.
It's true. She does really feel like she has to take care of her.
Yeah, I mean, she goes.
It's
to
a
pick
lot
up
of them
Jessa.
walking without a car. That
Yes.
happens like 4 or 5 times.
In
What
this
Mexican
episode.
restaurant too? Did I miss something?
What do you mean?
Because Jessa's like,
I
so I
left
don't
my.
have my phone. I gave it to a guy at a Mexican restaurant. I'm
Oh, I don't think
where was
we
the
we
never
I
ever
don't
said
think
that.
we went to
Mexican
that.
restaurant.
No.
That'll be in the tiny furniture bonus features.
I hope. I love the Rihanna scene.
Yeah.
That is so
Her name
funny.
is Rihanna. Oh my god.
Her name is Rihanna. It's just like, it's so classic he's obviously gay. I think
Mhm.
that's so implied.
It's so
Mhm.
funny to make him gay because Hannah is always fucking gay guys.
Yes, totally.
So it's like, yeah, Hannah, like the way she's like so like whatever, and then that happens at the end of the scene, and she's like, God.
Yeah, I kind of love, right? Like, it's kind of nice to see her in this mode of like not freaking out about something where she's just like,
She's
all
like,
right.
Why is everybody?
Right, everybody around me being like,
well,
so...
exactly. And I think if you're gay and you're having sex with a woman, you are being used for sex.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I feel used. She's like, no.
The way she's just like, no.
No.
What you're feeling, not valid.
Right, exactly.
And take it back.
And I love that they're like literally petting these little rabbits at one point and they eat the rabbit.
That too is
Hate
so...
that.
She throws a rabbit over her shoulder when no one's looking.
Both of my grandparents have stories like that. Actually, and my
Really?
dad. Yeah, like being... One of my grandmothers was a vegetarian for her whole life because she was like, she had a pet goat that like her family slaughtered and
So Miley Cyrus
saved.
coded.
Oh my God.
and like served to her, and she was like, she literally was a vegetarian for the rest of her life.
yeah.
Since she was like 12.
I would be.
Yeah, she was like, no.
That's fucked up. One time I went on a mission trip to Missouri where a tornado had hit,
Cool.
and the
Did
house.
you eat an animal?
The house we were like fixing up, this woman owned 8 cows that like died in the tornado,
Mhm.
but she turned them all into meat.
Right.
So every day we were there, she would like barbecue us like heavy meat
Wow.
God.
and be like, here. And I just remember being like, I'm not made to be this way.
Right. That's a lot. Meat is intense. I'm more and more like,
Yeah.
It really is true.
and it is true that like you do, it's kind of underscored when it's like, why am I like, this was an animal that I knew actually. I
Yeah.
haven't really ever had to do that.
Eat an animal you know
No.
personally. That's lucky.
That's
Yeah.
really, it's upstate culture because I went to the Adirondacks last year and
Uh-huh.
one day we're eating hamburgers, the next day we're visiting the cows that the hamburgers are made out of and like giving them names and feeding them. It's like the
Right.
background of my phone. It's like a cow that we ate.
Right.
Oh.
Well, we didn't
That's
eat this
kind of
specific
twisted,
cow.
Evan.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm now realizing that right now, actually.
That's funny.
But really fun that it happens.
Yeah. I've really been feeling so lucky for my parents recently because...
Did you do an earnest phone call like this?
No, but I've been so earnest with both of them. I mean, I've had
That's
to
so
be. I'm
cool.
like,
Have you
thank
always been that way?
earnest? Or
Towards
like,
your
Towards
parents.
your parents?
No. I've actually just in general become a lot more earnest and like open about like my appreciation.
I'm trying to become earnest so bad, but
Yeah.
everything I say sounds so sarcastic.
You're trying.
It's
now.
really bad.
I think like
It is
I don't know.
true.
Heartbreak did it to me. Like heartbreak
Okay.
made me be like, oh, like I don't have a choice but to be real.
Are you gonna be like
It's-
this forever?
No, probably not. I also am worried about dating because when you
Right.
date, like I haven't had to like date in like years, and when you date, you kind of have to like keep your cards a little close to the. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh my god, I love this so much. Like, what are you doing? I want to hang out tomorrow. You know, like
yeah.
you have to kind of play this fucking game. I
Yeah.
did date like a few years ago, and I don't know. I remember the thing of being like, I don't have to play the game. I can be fully honest, and then it's like you get hurt.
God.
Yeah.
And people actually do get scared away if you're like too into it. And you
Yeah.
have to
In
be
this
like,
city,
yeah.
it's their favorite thing to do.
And it's
their
like, that's
main
so
hobby.
lame. But also, I'm like that too. If someone's really, really into it, I'm like, it's kind of a turn off, which is like, what? Why?
We're all fucked in the head.
We're all fucked in the head. It's like really so much about like abandonment, but it's like, I mean, there's so much abandonment. Despite the fact that my parents are like great,
Yeah.
definitely it's like I have a really hard time with the idea of abandonment or like being left out of
Yeah.
stuff. Actually, in the episode of Girls, this one that we're talking about, Hannah talks about like my worst fear was being the kid who was like picked up last. And not from this, but like a few weeks ago, I had like kind of a flashbulb memory of like, oh, like that definitely happened to me a few times as a kid. My parents were like
Right,
divorced, they were working, like,
Yeah.
and definitely it's like kind of a little traumatic actually to be like
Definitely.
at like, because also you can tell the counselors are like, do you want to call again? And you're like, okay, I can. Like, they want to go home. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's happy. They're like, we're going to bring you to the office and like, you're going to have to wait here.
Is it like
It's
after a
hell.
sport or after school?
Like, after like a camp thing, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
nobody's there to like, you know.
Did you have phone?
Did you have phone?
I
Did
think
you
I got a
have phone?
phone in like 6th grade. So it would be like,
Oh,
that's
so
before
it's
pretty
that.
elementary
early.
school.
Yeah.
You're really holding on to this.
Yeah.
That's-
Yes, this is like before elementary school even.
No, I've had that where it's like I come home from Christmas and then I'm like, I'll call an Uber.
Right, exactly.
It's no problem.
Right. You're like,
Oh.
shouldn't someone be here to kind of be helping me with this?
Yeah.
My babysitter would have to pull over before she would take a phone call because she couldn't obviously call. She didn't feel comfortable being on the phone and driving. And
Right.
she would
Oh,
often be
she's so
late because
safe.
I would always be so bad at telling her what time to pick me up. And we went to a different school to do sport.
Right.
So I was classically in that gym that you're
Right.
talking about.
You're just like waiting.
with the teachers.
The
yeah.
teachers being like, we want to go home.
No, exactly.
Can you call them again?
There's so much pressure as a child when the teacher needs to go home and
Oh my
it's
God.
on your parents, but it's your fault.
Right. Literally.
Like
they're
you blame yourself.
And the teacher knows that like teacher knows like they can't actually blame you, but they can't hide the fact that they're annoyed.
They're
like,
pissed.
they're like, okay, did she say anything about when she was going to be here? Oh my God. Stressful.
It's
they also
hell.
always get so close to driving you home where you're like, my parents said you can't do that.
Right.
And you can't cross that line.
LOL.
They wouldn't.
No,
Aw.
I've never been offered a ride.
Well, it's because I went to a specific middle school where everyone was dyslexic and we all like come from an hour away to go to it.
Mhm.
We've never had an episode of this podcast
Yeah, I
where
have
you're
to
like,
bring it up every
I went to
episode.
dyslexic middle school.
It's the only interesting thing.
Girl, get your
Your
Glock.
Glock.
It's rapid fire time. Are you
Okay.
ready to answer some rapid fire
And
questions?
we're
Yeah.
absolutely going to have to pull that up. Are you a schoolgirl or are you get schooled girl?
I'm a schoolgirl.
Why is Marnie mad at you?
Because I canceled last minute.
What's your favorite utensil?
Spoon.
Would you rather live in a nice building facing an ugly building or an ugly building facing a nice building?
Ugly building facing a nice building.
Voice of a generation or at least a voice of a generation?
A voice of a generation.
Oh, and what would make you visit? Well, you have a great relationship with your dad. Never
Mhm.
mind.
No, you can ask.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
please.
What would make you go visit your dad?
Like emotional hardship.
Yeah,
Right,
totally,
right,
totally,
right.
totally.
Yeah.
And are you eating the rabbit?
Yes.
Wow, that was
Oh.
amazing.
Thank you. That was fun.
so powerful.
You guys had good questions. And I think I did a great job of answering them.
You
No, I
answered
think so.
without waiting a beat.
I
I'm
know.
like, do you have an improv background?
I literally took it so seriously. I was like, rapid fire. I was like, okay.
You were
And I don't
in.
know. It's like now I'm thinking back, like, were there things I would change? Probably, but that's not the point.
You can
No.
go back.
I can.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't give me that option. I kind of liked it when I couldn't. I was
No,
like,
it's
may-
over. It's over.
It's over. It's
no,
done.
I
Okay.
actually really want you to.
Okay, maybe it's a favorite utensil, pen. I'm gonna change it that way.
Oh
Is
wow.
a pen a utensil?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is now.
Well, now I let you go back and now I regret it.
Right, exactly. You shouldn't have opened the door.
Yeah, you were
No.
right.
And we're all in a fight right now.
Mhm.
Our last segment of the podcast is Then v Now. We
Mhm.
compare Brooklyn then
Oh,
to
yeah.
Brooklyn now. But I mean, this didn't happen.
This one wasn't so Brooklyn.
This one was almost kind of timeless, wouldn't you say?
I was kind of
ultimately
timeless.
say it actually was so Brooklyn-ly.
Right, because actually, like it
All these characters are ending up in Brooklyn or have lived there.
Right, you're right. I think like there is something about like where it feels really timeless because it's like, yeah, upstate does kind of still look like that.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Upstate is Brooklyn.
I mean, would Frank exist today? Or would it be something much
Mm.
different?
That's the thing that you're so right. That's the thing that feels anachronistic. Like where, and even then, I mean, look, I famously have gone in on Frank. I don't think he makes sense. I don't think he's costumed right. But even if that were now,
Like, who would Frank be acting?
right?
Like-
no, Frank is, of course. I think he's still around.
No.
I think a
No,
version of
I-
him is, but like with a
No.
different kind of look.
I
don't know what it
think
would be.
Frank would maybe be like short, running
I don't
short
think you guys.
guy.
I
Yeah, maybe.
absolutely do think he's
kind
around.
of
Kind
Michael,
of-
Sarah, Juno. Kind
yeah.
Of thing.
And like maybe like kind of on his phone, but not in like a influencer way.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Reddit. He's in like something really deep.
Is the
Reddit
football guy
Discord.
still alive?
Huh.
Do blonde hunks exist anymore? Like, I feel like
Yes.
I've never met a teen that acts like that.
That was such a funny, like, it's like, who is this guy?
It is. I'm like, Lena, you've never experienced, like,
Right.
Have
And
you even met a guy like that before?
Because it would be not that hard to like make that character someone who kind of made sense. And instead it's like, so these are two like guys, like they're gay for each other or something, but maybe not. Like it does
Mm.
raise these
It
questions.
really-
So it's Love Simon.
But maybe
almost.
that's truthful. Like maybe it is. It's like life. You're just like, that was weird. Like they were weird. I don't get
Yeah.
it. And you're just like, and I won't get it. Like,
Yeah, she said it's not a trope. It's
right. She's like, I don't know. What if there were two people like this?
that the
I don't know. I think Frank actually is around and he's like doing something so interesting on TikTok. I think if you scroll enough on the app, you see people have like 45 likes on their videos, but are so consistent about posting. He's like doing some weird music review or he's
Yeah.
like talking about like some interesting
You're
hobby
kinda
or
nailing
collection.
it.
he
what
has.
about
Yeah.
She's
Putres?
absolutely
What is
around.
that damn woman's name?
I'm obsessed with her. She's talking
Petula.
about manifestation. She
Petula.
brings
That's
two
real.
amazing
That
points.
is real.
She brought up manifestation, which was kind of a fringe niche thing in 10 years ago, and now
Do you
she's
think
co-
she would be
that
a
is so
life
prominent.
coach, like with an
Mm.
Instagram following?
Again, she's also on TikTok, and she's kind of learning that from her son.
she's
picked
kind
that
of
up, and she's
pointing
better
at
it.
mental health facts.
She's better at it than Frank.
No,
would
I don't think
say.
she's mental health. I think she's way more spiritual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
not doing mental health. She's doing like massage.
She's
It's something
doing
else.
tutorial.
It's like
She's pulling
it's
up a card.
energy,
She's like,
it's
"Did you
vibes.
see this
Yes.
while you're scrolling?"
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh my
I
god,
love
I
it.
want to do that when I
Well,
get home.
I mean, she does.
Wait, do it.
Yeah.
I know you have.
Have you
to.
been to a astrologist before?
No, but I've my friend does tarot, and I like her.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the same.
that's
Everyone's friend that does tarot is like that's good enough.
I
that
went
is
to an
good enough.
astrologist in Midtown last year, and they were like, "You're gonna fall in love in February." And honey, it's July.
You're like crap.
Yeah,
They often overpromise.
yeah.
I've had that experience.
Well, they have to get you in the door, of course, and
Yes,
then you
of
have to
course.
go back and you have to
I was
clarify what
already in
love
the
is. Like,
door.
I think she wants you to go back and figure out what
I'm
love
gonna
is.
Honestly,
text her now. I want to
yeah.
remember to do that.
Do that. Okay. Anything else?
Yes. Okay. So we talked about manifestation. We also talked about, we didn't really go full deep on this, but life, I think, is a video game.
Oh,
Mm.
the title of the episode.
Title of the episode, kind of the namesake of why
Do you
we're
think
here
you're
today.
a sim? I don't feel that way about myself.
Yeah, it's either you're programmed not to.
Life being a
Okay.
video game.
Well, I mean, I do think
Can't
so.
decide.
We're kind of so close to creating these own simulations. If we can get to sentient, then we can create worlds like this. If we have like enough,
I don't think
power
it's a
to back
video
it up.
game.
I don't think it's a video.
we can never
game.
prove it, which is the sickest part.
But
of
I
it
also
all.
like when I think about Earth too much, I'm like, this is so fake.
Yeah.
Do you
totally.
think they? I wish they had a party.
It does
full.
feel sometimes helpful to think about it like a video game.
Yeah, like it almost like
Right.
makes it less complicated in a
Right.
way
You're
that's
like, I just keep dying on this level.
Yeah.
You're like, I've died 100 times on this level. And then you're like, because you know what happens sometimes in a video game is you die 100 times on the level. You're like, okay, let me put it down, figure it out, come back. And then you're like, actually, like you do it
Whoa.
immediately.
Yeah.
So there's a lesson there for sure.
Wait, that's actually really inspiring.
Thank you. And I'm the child.
You're the
You're-
child.
That's what I'm going to be taking away from this episode.
Okay, so I really want to like analyze what the hell they're wearing here. I think that's really significant.
Mhm.
She's wearing a band tee that we could essentially say Petra. What's her name?
Petula.
Oh,
Petula?
what?
You guys are not nailing.
No,
No,
we're
we're
really
really
And
sure.
I am nailing it.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
knowing
really
it
good
every
at it.
time. Yeah.
Well, where is I mean, exactly. Like, I love her outfit. She's wearing a long skirt, which is actually so prominent in today's zeitgeist. Like, we're really in a maxi skirt kind of era.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started with a denim skirt, and we're kind of going more into the silk fabric-y thing that we really are seeing going on.
I think that is true.
100%. Like, her look is so, like, she's doing big pants, tiny shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah wearing a dress I've never seen since or during that time.
I actually can't picture at all what either of them are wearing. I'm so sorry.
I
It's
know.
not
What is
free.
Jessa
You can take it away
wearing?
and I'll jump in if I can.
Right. And I don't know. This, it's like,
Jessa's braid thing
Yeah.
is so 2013.
Okay. I have a note. This is another costuming note because I do remember that Petula is wearing a Jefferson Airplane t-shirt.
exactly.
And I actually also think, not to be like critical, but I do think some of her dialogue is a little on the nose. And that costuming is also a little on the nose.
You're
like,
pissed.
I am pissed. I actually love watching stuff and being able to be like, I'm figuring out like how this could be better. I'm feeling like so smart for it.
Let's get you in the damn writer's room.
Let's get me in the damn writer's room. Cause I'm like, some of like the video game stuff, I'm like, as opposed to like maybe, I don't know, the thing with like Lena Dunham and her relationship with her mom, where I'm like, that's so great because it's kind of unexpected that her mom is like a bitch in this way. And like, they have this like sweet moment, but it's like undercut and whatever. And, you know, like it's complex, but it feels really real. Like the stepmom character, I'm like, it's a little bit on the nose of like, woo woman, like
it's almost like sketch in a way that's not the rest of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It does have like kind of a sketch tone a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe there's moments that I think her thing with like the Glock is kind of funny. Does she do that? No, you guys said Glock.
She
does say a
gun.
gun
can
thing,
add
though.
it.
But
We
she
can
says
add it.
gun.
She says go. She's like, it's a video game. Pow, you're my enemy. Pow, pow,
Would
pow.
you say it's completely a dialogue issue, or is it the performance of that actress?
I think it's more dialogue. It's a dialogue issue to me.
Huh.
I just think it's like maybe a little bit like the obvious thing for like
Well,
massage. You know.
I don't think Lena really knows this
Just an
woman.
idea.
Lena's so good
No.
at writing people she actually knows, and I think this is a made up character.
You can
You're
tell
so
she didn't
right.
meet that girl.
Right. The farther away she
Yeah.
gets from what she knows, the more it becomes a little bit like.
Well, I think that's
like,
why she
down the
can't
middle.
write like black characters or colors of POC because she doesn't know any POCs.
Right. Exactly.
That's why she's only like she can write straight men, and people are like, oh, she's so good at capturing the nuances straight men.
Right.
But it's like, and
She
I guess
really
gay
is.
men.
Yeah.
But because they're white, and
Right.
like she's hung out with those, she's kind of always been a little bit of a guy's girl, I think,
Right.
especially growing up.
Right. And I think like
Well-
there's a certain milieu that she really does understand.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay. I'm glad I spoke up.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know.
We're gonna clip that for sure.
Mhm.
Perfect. This is good. It's like usually sometimes we do this show and we actually never even talk about girls. So I think it's really significant we only got to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
This is good. We need balance.
Some
Yeah.
episodes are not as.
They're not.
I think this
deep.
is a rich text.
Yeah.
I think it is.
This is the thing about girls that's amazing is like you'll watch some and you're like whatever, and then a few of them you're like, damn, like that was good. It was like really effective. Respect.
I mean,
Yeah.
so far, every single episode, I've been like, this one's gonna be meh.
Right.
And I'm always like, no, this
That's
one
good.
really hit a point that hasn't been hit before that
Right.
I'm deeply moved by.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
It's still amazing that she wrote this at 24. Well, she
I
actually wrote it at
know.
22,
Right. That's kind of crazy.
and then it
It's
got
no
and then it
problem.
got filmed at 24.
It's no
I
problem.
don't think anyone really talks about how she did season 2 at 22. And actually, I actually read the pilot this week.
I noticed
Um,
that.
And it
Oh,
kept
really?
Shoshana was originally supposed to be 27.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. And then Adam 33. And
How
then
old is he in the actual thing?
they never really clarified, but I do think
It's giving like 27.
yeah,
I
he's
agree.
27.
Yeah. Wait, do you support Hannah and Adam?
I don't think so.
Do you think Adam's hot?
Not to me. He's too angry. I find that really not hot.
I agree with that.
I find him like often really like, and he's so like he yells at her and he's like so dismissive of her. It's I don't really like him. I think
Me
he's a
neither.
great character and I do totally see what's charming about him, but for me, it's
If I had to interact with that person in my life, I wouldn't like it.
yeah,
You do.
I agree.
I do. Who's angry? You?
Well, everyone's a little bit of that. I'm
Hmm.
not
Oh.
angry.
Oh
Do you think I'm angry?
no.
Oh, now I'm getting angry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Let's close it out. Any closing statements on Shosh?
My share statement? No, I already said the funny thing.
Okay,
but, like,
perfect.
whatever. I think she's awesome.
Guys, if you love Charlie, go to his live show next week or this week.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what day is it?
The 22nd.
The 22nd. So literally so close after this comes out. Go to Littlefield. It'll be fun.
Why not?
And check out their podcast, Exploration Live by Headgum.
That's right.
Wow. And we'll see you next week. Please rate
and
review. We'll be back with
It's a robot.
almost the season finale of season 2.
Well,
We're checking through.
We're getting you're getting there.
We're getting close. We're getting close. All love. Bye.